Hamlets must be the most exciting and vibrant borough in London. It's the most exciting place. It's got a future ahead of it of prosperity and of community cohesion, a wonderful place to live.
Challenges today are different to the challenges we faced only 5 years ago. And for me is to make sure that young people in the borough are really engaged in the political process and to know how they could influence decisions.
All our councillors from all the political parties are very open in receiving and interacting with residents and voters, and we want to make politics very lively in Tower Hamlet.
More people involved in local decision making, certainly more people involved in local politics in terms of wanting to be a councillor, but also wanting to be a leader within their community, but also wanting to actually vote and come along to council meetings and actually get involved in the democratic process.
I'm really pleased to be here today. This is a great opportunity for members of the local community and especially young people to feed their ideas towards the 2020 vision. I think it's really important that we get involved, young people get involved, and across the generation everybody gets involved in the decision-making bodies.
Tower Hamlet is a very unique place. We are in between the two major economic giants, the Canary Wharf, and you've got the city fringe as well.
We've got huge diversity of cultures, huge diversity of incomes, and a huge diversity of housing stock.
Tower Hamlets is changing incredibly quickly. The pace of regeneration, major opportunities like the Olympics, but also those opportunities bring with them certain threats. In order to move forward, you need to move forward together, to link different communities, to build a shared future. And I think Tower Hamlets Partnership has to be at the heart of building that shared future.
One of the really important things that we need to do is build up the leadership skills and capacity of young people. And I know that the Davenant Centre, the Community Empowerment Network and others have been working hard to do that. I think it's one of the biggest opportunities we have, and that means getting young people to get involved in the voluntary sector, in business and in politics. I want to see more and more young people looking at politicians, looking at councillors, looking at business leaders and saying, I can do that. And as a community, we need to work together to create those opportunities for young people.
Young and out and about, I think it's something that a lot of young people don't really think about, but it does affect you kind of with, you know, who's in power, things like council tax you've got to end up paying for, and, you know, picking up rubbish from the streets. So it's quite an important thing to get involved with. And I always try to make an effort of voting in the national elections and also the local ones, because I think we've got the right and the ability to, so we should use that vote.
So therefore it's like their thoughts can be heard.
Yeah, but whatever the youngsters say, it never ever goes. It doesn't ever go. It's like whatever the adults say, that's what you go with. It's not, you don't ever listen to what the youngers have to say.
It involves every aspect of your own life and what you pay for, crime on the streets, pretty much everything. So. And if you've got a vote, you have to use it, really.
So I think, first of all, it's a stereotype, because when you're young and you hear fragments of things that are in the media, you know, you see things like David Cameron and Tony Blair, and you don't really feel connected to that. And I think politics, for me, yes, it can also be international on a large scale, like the Iraq War and things, but it can also be on a very personal level and a very local level. And I think, you know, I think the local council, local organisations need to come out on the streets and do things like this and talk to people and ask them their views, and so we can go away and think, oh yeah, you know, how does it affect me? Because when you see politics in the media, it's always on a national and international level, and sometimes you don't always feel connected to that. You need to know what's happening on your doorstep down the road from you, and so I think it's very important that young people encourage in that way that, you know, this can affect you. Once you start working, you have to pay taxes, you have to pay council tax, and so you need to be aware.
Feel connected to something, that there's actually someone's listening to them, otherwise you just feel powerless.
Debate, discussions are fruitful things in local government, and we want to actually highlight more participation. Have 4 different points of views, and if there are any points of views that are not actually expressed, then obviously residents have the right to actually bring that forward to any of the council meetings through petitions or deputations, and they can do that.
Elected councillors, you know, because without speaking, you know, elected councillors are there, the eyes and ears, and that's the way, you know, local people can engage through the local councillors in terms of, you know, service delivery of the council.
Looking at third sector, delivering some of the core services, empowering the third sector to take on responsibilities, to deliver services. Third sector are people that are close to the people on the ground, and it's making sure that that is something that we do. Our responsibility is make sure that they do it and they do it well, and the infrastructure is in place.
The council needs to be much clearer when it's actually addressing issues and explaining why we're doing something and why we're not doing something.
In somewhere like Tower Hamlets, change is happening incredibly quickly. There are opportunities associated with regeneration, but also there are threats and worries about who will benefit and who will lose out from that regeneration. Tower Hamlets Partnership has got to play the key role building cohesion and integration through building a shared vision of what the future might be and a sense that everybody can buy into that future together.